welcome to the City Show. Pat O Melia here, you there. Hopefully we inform you, entertain you, maybe educate you a little bit. Got my cold coffee. I'm set to go. On the bottom of the screen, you got all the information on how to watch our show, love us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, subscribe, all those things. On our live stream, that's our base network. It's a little better than YouTube and live stream, especially. I won't get kicked off if I say anything like 101.5, NJ 101.5. Managed to get the whole station kicked off YouTube recently. At least on live stream, they don't boot us off. You can download the live stream app onto your phone. It's free. There's a lot of other things besides my programming there. That's where we archive all our programs. And like YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff, Twitter, you'll see it. A note here. There's been a hacking of our fuel pipeline that comes out of the south into Linden, New Jersey, where we all get our gasoline from. Whether it's Exxon, BP, whatever it is, it's coming out of Linden. They just throw some extra ingredients in there and it becomes BP or Exxon or Mobil, whatever it is. They were hacked and there's ransomware playing out here. Right now, the only fuel we're getting into Linden is the fuel that's already been there before the ransomware. All those tanks you see on the New Jersey Turnpike, they're full of fuel. Well, hopefully they'll stay full of fuel for a while. I strongly recommend you keep your car fueled up, because it could get a little sketchy out here in the next few days if the ransomware isn't settled. And plus, there is a big shortage of tanker truck drivers. Those drivers that deliver those gasoline tankers to the gas stations, there is a shortage there. So it's important that you keep your car fueled up. This way, if anything comes down, I don't think it will be a long-term malware situation, but keep your car topped off. All right, today we're going to talk about Jersey City school budget, merging Hudson County towns, and the Bayonne Medical Center. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
We're back, City Show here. You know, it's malware. If it happens to you and I, we're not going to pay any ransom. We'll just call Dell and say it's time for a new computer. Get rid of the old one. Well, Colonial, I guess it's more than just the accounting involved in there. It probably runs the switches and all that into the different tanks. It's probably very involved. And hopefully to get that settled before we run back into the fuel crisis. If you were old enough to remember the one in the 70s where it was odd and even and $3 maximum, I was working in the gas station back then. I always had fuel. All right, the city school budget. This is turning into a soap opera. And the victims are going to be us, the residents of Jersey City. The reduced budget right now is $814 million. That is a huge amount of money. That's almost $200 more, $200 million more than the city budget. There are 30,000 students in the Jersey City public school system, kindergarten up to high school. Our budget is $814 million. And if you divide that by 30,000 students, it comes out to an average of $27,135 to educate each student. Now, let's think about that number for a second. $27,135 to educate one student in Jersey City, whether it's kindergarten, senior in high school. $27,135 per student. That is the equivalent, across the street from my house, We have a three-family in Jersey City. There are two new houses and a reconditioned one directly across the street. We all pay, I think, around $9,300 or so in property taxes each year. Those three houses, all the property taxes they pay go to educate one child. Think about that. Those three, two-family, maybe one's a three-family, all three of those homes to combine pay to educate one student. We would need like 10,000 or so homes in Jersey City just to pay the school budget, which is astronomical. There's no way in hell it should cost $27,135 to educate a kid. But I mean, I'm going to jump the gun here. On an average class size, and when we went to school, there's always 30 kids. There were like 6 desks in a row, 6 across or so. It was like 30, 36 kids in each class, and that was normal. Everybody bitches about, we don't want a classroom with 30 kids. We all had 30 kids all through school, whether from elementary school up to high school. You take one classroom with 30 kids at $27,135, that classroom each year would cost $814,000. Think about that. One classroom. $814,000. If there was just one teacher who was in the business of just teaching 30 students, that's a pretty good buck. $814,000 per class. That is outrageous. Tom's River. Now, I do a television show. Many of you don't know it, because in the other studio, we do Tom's River show. Very similar to the city show, just really different backdrops and all, but pretty much the same exact show. They have a school budget down here, and Tom's River is like a very small Jersey City. I've joked around that we could take Mayor Fulop right now, drop him in Whole Hill's chair, the mayor of Tom's River, and Fulop wouldn't miss a beat. Now, the money is different, smaller community, but everything's relative. You have a smaller budget, smaller amount of population, smaller this, smaller PD, all that, but everything is relative. You know, it's the same expenses, basically. In Tom's River, their school budget is $247 million for the year. They have 15,470 students, opposed to our 30,000 students. That comes out to an average student, cost to educate an average student, of $16,965. That's a difference compared to Jersey City of $10,170. Now, Tom's River is an hour away from Jersey City. That's 76 miles. It isn't like we're talking Arkansas here. We're talking Tom's River, and they have very good public school system. They got everything we have. They play football, they play baseball, they got chemistry classes. Everything we have in Jersey City, they got in Tom's River. Just on a smaller scale, they're a smaller community. How is it possible that it costs $10,000+ less a year to educate a kid in Tom's River than it does in Jersey City? Ponder that as we take a commercial break. We'll be right back. We're back. City Show here. You there? We're talking the school budget. We're comparing our school budget to the Tom's River school budget. And as before we broke the commercial, there is a difference of $10,170 per student educating. Now, the reason I picked Tom's River, because I'm very familiar with it, been covering Tom's River for 4, 5, 6 years now. I could have gone further south and things would have gotten even cheaper. But Tom's River is very, very similar to Jersey City in their situations and what goes on. Everything municipally, very similar. Like, I don't know how many times I've told Mo Hill, just follow what Fulop's doing. And what Fulop's doing today, you do tomorrow, you'll be fine. Now, Fulop handled this way. And for that matter, there was a school situation last week. I texted Mayor Mo Hill. I said, just follow Fulop's lead on this, and you'll be fine. There is no good reason why a school system 1 hour away by car, 76 miles, costs $10,000 less per student. Something is wrong here in Jersey City. Now, if we just use the math from Tom's River at the $16,965, and listen, I'm not saying that's a bargain. I think that's high. But if we times that by our school system of students of 30,000, our school budget would be $508 million, almost $509 million. $509 million, as opposed to the reduced budget of $814 million. That is a huge difference there. $509 million if we were spending $16,965 a student, as opposed to $814 million with our average cost of $27,136. Yeah, and again, Tom's River, their kids are honor roll students there. They're getting scholarships to colleges. Yeah, it's a good school system. It's on par with ours. But it's so much cheaper. That's the question we have to ask here. Now, the school system's actually looking at the Jersey City school budget to see where they can get more money for the schools. This is in addition to the taxes they hit us with. They're talking about getting more money from the city via a commercial tax on commercial properties, a vacancy tax, as well as the weed tax. The Jersey City school system, my buddy Masab Ali wants to grab that. And this is in addition to the payroll tax that's already in place, but it didn't generate as much money as it was expected. But there was that, what was that thing in 2020? Oh, COVID. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of payrolls in 2020 to get a tax on. Plus, they get school grants. And still, they had a 37% tax increase last year, the Jersey City public school system, plus $1,000 a year this year. The Jersey City public school system is a black hole that sucks in all the money. And there needs to be accounting. You can't keep throwing money into that hole. We need to look at the Jersey City school budget as to where we can cut expenses. They didn't even attempt to cut expenses. They actually hired people. I think they're planning to hire 216 more people. There will be no affordable housing in Jersey City unless we can get a handle on the Jersey City public school system. And it's possible. Even if we just went with the public school budget on how the charter schools run. They operate about 20% cheaper than the Jersey City public schools. Somehow, we've got to look at the management and the expenses. Like I said, Tom's River's $10,000 less a student. And it's not like we're talking, North Carolina or something like that, or Alabama. Tom's River. You can get there in an hour. And those kids are just on par with us. Like I said, they're getting scholarships and, awards, and they're getting good grades in the same public school setup as our guys are. There will be no affordable housing in Jersey City at this rate. We need to get Mayor Fulop more involved in the Jersey City public schools. Remember A. Harry Moore School just before the pandemic? We were closing down. We were going to disband this project. If it wasn't for Fulop, there would be no A. Harry Moore School for the children with autism and special needs. That would have been closed. The Jersey City Board of Education didn't save that system, that program at A. Harry Moore. It wasn't New Jersey City University. It was Fulop putting his foot down. We need Mayor Fulop, after this election, to put both his feet down this time and go with an appointed school board. The city needs to have say and sway with the public schools. They just can't raising your taxes in ridiculous budgets that you have to pay for. And we know it's an inflated budget. Because like I said, Tom's River is an hour away, and they're $10,000 cheaper a kid. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching The City Show. We'll be right back.
Hudson Regional Hospital, we promise to be prepared for your emergency.
We promise to provide world-class robotic surgical care.
We promise to treat you like family.
To provide accurate diagnostic care.
To provide the most innovative orthopedic care at your doorsteps.
We promise to treat your baby like our own.
To never stop investing in the best of spinal care.
To be with you every step of the way.
Here at Hudson Regional Hospital, we promise to take care of our community.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We're back. Pat O Melia here, City Show. Know what's worse about this school budget? Say you're a single person in Jersey City. You're paying into that school budget. You have no kids there, but you're paying into it if you're a property owner here. Say you're a couple with no kids. Doesn't make a difference. You're paying into it. Say your kid's going to Catholic school. If there are any left. And believe me, jokingly I say that, but give a few more years, there probably won't be. Not only are you paying for the Catholic school, because you want to get your kid, in your opinion, the best possible education, you're still paying the school budget. You're still paying school taxes. Say you're a senior. You have no more kids. You're paying that school budget. Maybe that's what it is. If you use the service, you should pay for the service. You got kids in school, you should pay for the kids in school. It would be astronomically expensive. But you know, the people who keep arguing with, oh, we have to fully fund the budget. You know, we deny the kids $1, we deny the children. Believe me, we all came from this school system. Me, you, my kids. I got a kid that's a PhD. Came from Jersey City public school system. It can be done. We need to get a handle on that before we'll have to move out of Jersey City. Bayonne. I like Bayonne. Bayonne has an interesting situation they're going to be dealing with on Wednesday. The city of Bayonne is proposing a $95 million bond so they can use eminent domain through the county of Hudson, through the HCIA, to take the hospital and the property it's built on, there's a picture of it there, from the owner of the property now, Hudson Regional Hospital. They bought the land and the building. In essence, what Bayonne wants to do here, and this makes no sense on any level, they want to take the property from one for-profit hospital operator, which is Hudson Regional Hospital. They recently purchased the land and the building, and they want to lease it on like a lease purchase deal to another not-for-profit hospital operator, with Bayonne holding the bag on $95 million. But it'll be more than $95 million, by the way. $95 million they can use for so many other things in Bayonne. They are literally doubling the debt of Bayonne with this idea of using eminent domain on the hospital. And the real question is here is why? Now, the operation they would like to, I guess, do the lease purchase with is out of Staten Island. They don't run hospitals. They have a bunch of clinics. They never run a hospital. You want to take property away from a Hudson County hospital that operates Secaucus Hospital, Hudson Regional, take their property away and give it to another hospital operator who's never run a hospital before, and yet have the town, the city of Bayonne holding the bag for $95 million. Ask Hoboken how that went when they bonded for Hoboken University Hospital about a decade ago. It didn't go well. The question here is why? Why would you want to go into debt for $95 million and counting, instead of having a Hudson County hospital operator who is here already in Secaucus operating a hospital. That wouldn't cost the people of Bayonne a dime. There's no $95 million that the people of Bayonne are on the hook for. And it's like I said, it'll be more than $95 million. And there'll be no legal fees. There's going to be all sorts of legal challenges to this. You literally want to take the property, this hospital, from a for-profit hospital in Hudson Regional and give it to another for-profit hospital operator who doesn't operate hospitals yet from Staten Island. That doesn't, to me, I'm not an attorney, but this doesn't seem to pass legal muster to me. You want to take this person's property, a for-profit hospital, and give it to a different operator, for-profit hospital, where you have no idea if this entity can even run a hospital. Here you have a proven track record. It's another situation where Jimmy Davis makes a questionable decision. The other being Nick Chevalotti. You know, well, Nick Chevalotti is a well-respected assemblyman in Trenton and in Bayonne, and you 86 him without even a reason. And nothing against the kid that's going to replace him, Sansom. But he was a proven commodity. But we'll get rid of him. This is certainly worse than the Chevalotti situation, because here, the people in Bayonne, they're on the hook for $95 million and counting dollars. So at the council meeting on Wednesday, if these council members have any concern with the taxpayers of Bayonne, they vote down this ordinance. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching The City Show. I'll be right back.
Pen and Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at penandpencilproperties.com. Pen and Pencil Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport. Live like you want.
Cutting-edge surgical care is right here in Secaucus.
Robotic surgery is safer.
Shorter hospital stays.
Smaller abdominal incisions, the size of an M&M. Here at Hudson Regional, we provide world-class robotic surgical care.
We're back to City Show as we leave on a Hudson Regional Hospital commercial there. Before I put this subject to bed here and we go to merging municipalities in Hudson County, not only does it make no sense what we're doing here, or Bayonne's doing here, taking a hospital away from a hospital operator to give to another, the other company has been turned down repeatedly in the courts and at the Department of Health in Trenton. This doesn't make financial sense at all with the 95 million plus. Doesn't make managerial sense for a hospital where you have an experienced hospital operator in Hudson Regional Hospital here in Secaucus, as opposed to an operation out of Staten Island that never ran a hospital. Makes you wonder. See, I'm from Hudson County, so makes you wonder. Speaking of Hudson County, there was a letter in the Jersey Journal, I think it was yesterday's JJ, I read it online maybe a week ago about the possibility of merging 3 municipalities in Hudson County. The 3 in question were Kearney, Harrison, and East Newark. If you combined all 3 of these municipalities, the population would be approximately 57,000 people, combining all 3. That's far less than Hoboken. Hoboken's at 80-some-odd thousand, 82,000, 83,000, something like that. It wouldn't hurt to expand that, and you take like Guttenberg, it's like a postage stamp in Hudson County, and let North Bergen absorb that. But let's go with the letter. This letter was probably 100% right. Now, unless you live in those towns or cities, these municipalities, does this affect you if they merge? Yes, it does. You're going to save money because your tax dollars are involved in that, whether it's Fed money, state money, or the County of Hudson money that you're all paying into. Each of these municipalities, all 3 of them, that you could combine and still, you wouldn't be a city, you'd still be a township with 57,000 people. Each of these municipalities have a mayor, a city council, city hall personnel, Department of Health, Senior Services, city clerk, all of them. The mayor's got aides, and the council people's got aides, and there's paychecks all over the place. Each one of these municipalities have a police department. Each has a fire department. Each has a parking authority. Each has a school system with school budgets. Each has a DPW. Each holds elections. They all cost money. All these things, everything you see in a municipality, all 3 of these have in redundancy. And that would be redundancy because they're all neighboring towns. And like I said, if you merge them together, they wouldn't even be enough people to be a city. They'd still be a township. I think the number is 110,000 to become a city nowadays. In the old days, it was a little different. If they can't do a merger, which really would make sense, but the politics in play, the turf wars would be amazing just to watch. What about shared services between these 3 municipalities? Again, they all have school systems. They all have police departments. They all have fire departments. Again, everyone has the exact same personnel. The word is redundancy. You could save the county and the state tons of money. And your tax dollars, one way or another, are making it over to these people through the feds, the state, or the county. That makes sense. Combine these 3 municipalities into one. But if that can't help, do the shared services. If you have to keep your mayors and your council people, do the shared services. But if you could just do the merge, it would save so much from pensions to holiday. It is astronomical on how much money could be saved. And we have to stop acting like we're in the 60s now. The 60s or the 70s, things cost too much money now. You have to make these changes. If you can't merge them, share them. All right, we're out of show. You be good, you be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.